Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RedFlex. This is your official Manchester United post-match reaction to Manchester United beating Granada 2-0 in the quarterfinal of the Europa League. I always have trouble saying Europa League. I always want to say UEFA
Champions
Champions
League.
League. Really, in my heart, I really want to say it, but I don't really say it. But yeah, we're through to quarterfinal. I'm just going to put it out there straight away. The performance, again, was lethargic. Let's just be kind. It was a lethargic performance, but it was a professional performance. It was 1-0. We got the penalty at the end. Bruno got punched in the face, got the penalty. Goalkeeper should have saved it, etc., etc. But whatever you say about the game, it's 2-0 at the end. Man United should be through. As far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse anymore for Man United not going through at this stage. We should go through to the semi-final.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, just in regards to your comment, yeah, absolutely agree with. It was just a professional performance. I don't think United ever
Was it
got out of
professional? I
third
thought it
gear.
was poor in it, but really,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
end
I
the
don't
end
think
of
they
it,
needed to exert
the fact
themselves
yeah, the fact that we
because
ended up two
Granada
nil
was so
you can
poor.
class it as a professional performance, but
Professional
really,
performance. I think
it was pretty
they
dire,
were
to be
actually
fair.
playing a really poor team. They were, yeah. There wasn't anyone really on the pitch for Granada who's going to cause any massive issues. And United didn't need to go out of third gear, and it was very comfortable. Although I think at times when we did go for it, we were creating a lot of chances. I think there was a spell for I think it was like a 5 minute spell where down the left channel, Harry
No,
Maguire was through, Bruno Fernandes was through,
no, no,
Matic got through down there. It
no.
was,
I'm
I
not
mean,
interested.
I'm not saying it was a
No, no, I'm not interested.
magnificent 5 minutes of football, but I'm saying when United actually went into the next gear, it was there if they wanted to actually go into the
No,
next
it
gear. When they
wasn't. It
did, they
wasn't.
weren't making chances.
You just said that it was a. I agree with you when you said it was a poor team, and the fact that we didn't really pressure him. I was watching the game. I was literally like crying, trying to keep
Boring
myself
games, to
awake.
be
I was
honest,
trying to keep
recently, isn't
myself
it?
awake during the whole game because it was that slow, that poor. It was like preseason friendly business. If the teams are that poor, why are we struggling? Why are we struggling to like break them down? Yeah, I understand low block, this, that, and the other, but the players that were on show today, that I just didn't feel that they had the hunger, the pressure. They weren't applying the pressure. I think it was again Ole makes them do this sort of like let's not go all out. Let's just be. It's always cautious first. Like the old Man United, it would have been like, look, this team's poor. Let's just smash them. Let's
But
just smash them.
if we went all out attack as such, and then we drew or lost a game, what would you be saying then?
Yeah, then it's poor. But at the end of the day, it's a poor team. So you shouldn't really, like, regardless,
2
even if they
0
scored first.
It's 2-0 away from home in Europe. I'm happy with that
Yeah,
against whoever it
I
is.
understand what you mean, but the what when you see the opponents, the way they played, it's like, look, man, when we go online on Pez and you see some people and you just look at their team and you look at their like ranking, their online ranking, and you think, you know what, just gonna give them a little spanking here now. You at least you have that thing in it, like I'm gonna give these lot a beat down now. You try your best. You might not do it, but at least you go
Yeah,
guns blazing.
I think Ole or I think the squad maybe had in mind as well that they've got a game coming up in a couple of days, so maybe they didn't want to exert too much energy and needed to save it against for the big game against Spurs.
If you're talking about saving energy, Marcus Rashford looked like he was injured in like the
He
first
was
minute.
injured, yeah,
He was injured in
definitely,
the
yeah.
first minute. Like, was there after he scored the goal? Was there even need for him to stay on the pitch? Not really.
Probably not. But maybe there was something in place. Maybe that a chat at half time. He said, "Okay, let's give you another 20 minutes,
No,
and then
no.
you can go off." But there
If
wasn't
he
really a need for him
if
to come out.
Rashford
To be
does not play
honest,
the next game now, is all Ollie's fault. It has to be. Like,
yeah, he's. I'm not sure how he's even getting onto the pitch. He's got a shoulder injury. He's got an ankle injury. Uh, yeah, he's doing well to get on the pitch. To be honest, I mean that's why he's probably not looking like he's in the best of form. He's probably only about 70% fit, I'd say.
yeah, if that. I mean, as soon as he scored, I
Mm.
would have just took him off. I said, "Thank you very much. Job done. See you later. Let's bring on."
Great goal. Let's
Oh,
not forget to mention it.
we're gonna get
Fantastic
onto
first
that.
touch.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get onto that. Yeah, for sure. That was an amazing goal. But it was other than that one moment of quality, as I always
That
say
was
when we're
it
playing
from there.
online, it's like the first bit of quality. and you actually, we actually did something. But though that was literally the only moment for me that was of any quality in the whole game. So we'll get to let's just get out of the way the fact that look, we're going to be missing quite a few players for the next round. I think Shaw's out, Maguire's out, McTominay's out, Martial we know about already. We should have enough for sure, but because of those injuries, again, Bruno's going to play again. Rashford's going to play again. Are you okay with that?
I think with Rashford, he needs to be managed. I mean, I know we actually mentioned this yesterday as well, and Ollie has said it. He needs his minutes need to be managed. He doesn't need. Well, did he really need to play today?
No, he didn't. After the goal,
Maybe,
especially,
yeah,
I just took him off half time when he did it
maybe,
when he came out and Shaw had
yeah,
been taken off instead. I was like, what is this?
yeah. So whatever the reason is, maybe Ollie's thinking, okay, he doesn't need to. If we can win this game convincingly, then the home game will be a lot easier. Because if you play a kind of reserve team or a very weakened team away from home in Europe, you're probably more likely to lose the game. At Old Trafford, you can kind of manage, be less difficult for you to get the result that you need
No,
to
I
actually get through.
completely agree. But at the risk of Marcus Rashford, like if he doesn't play now, if he's out for 3 games now, he's out for Tottenham, he's out for the second round, whatever. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Whether we beat them, even if we got a 0-0, you would still go into the second leg thinking, you know what? We'll get through
We
this
should be
game.
able to beat them
Yeah.
at home.
Whether it was 1-0,
Yeah.
whether it was 2-0, whether it was 0-0, you'd still think, you know what? So at the cost of Marcus Rashford, if that's what the potential loss was, I would have not done it. And especially after he scored the goal, I took him straight off. I'd have said, you know what? See you later. Thank you very much. Go sit on the bench. You've done your job. Now from here on in, even if we get a 1-1, even if we only just win it 1-0, I'm all right with that. Which
Yeah, I
essentially
mean,
what the game would have been if it
yeah,
wasn't for the punch in the face at the end.
yeah. I mean, I can understand your viewpoint, but I'm just trying to think it from Ollie's point of view. Maybe he thought, let's try and secure a comfortable win, and if Rashford's on the pitch, that's more likely to happen.
Yeah, but if the other way of doing securing the game is doing what he normally does, just take off an attacker, put on Matic, like he did. He just puts on
Secure the
Matic
game
just
as
to secure the
in
game. Yeah,
try to get a few goals, and he had a nice comfortable lead. Not necessarily to not concede, but I was referring to maybe to get a few more goals. And with Rashford on the pitch, even at 70%, it's probably more likely than some of the other players we've got on the bench for us to hopefully score, to create a goal for
yeah. So in the second
somebody else.
half, all right, yeah, Rashford. Let's see, his main attribute is his pace and his running in from the wing because he was so injured. He ended up playing him up front, so he didn't have to run as much. So from there on in, it might as well have been Cavani because Cavani can run around in the strikers bit. He's not going to bring anything different to Marcus. If you were continuing Marcus Rashford on the left, I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, okay. He's got a trick, he's got a bit of pace. I see what you're doing it, but he put him up front because he couldn't run. So why wouldn't you just put Cavani on instead? I'm not going to dwell on it anymore. I just think that it was. I couldn't see the logic behind it. I could not see any reason behind why Marcus Rashford played as long as he did. But moving on, we'll move on to the goals.
Just before we do, sorry,
Yeah.
Ollie made some early substitutions at a halftime substitution that's unheard of. Just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, that
He
was
very
unheard
rarely does
of, but
that.
he made the
Very
wrong
rarely
one.
does that.
When he
Probably
did
the wrong
actually
one.
do it,
He
it
did
was
make one
actually
though.
the wrong one. It was the wrong one. But yeah, I can see why maybe I don't know why he thought Shaw would get another booking. Shaw rarely gets bookings anyway.
Unless he had a little niggle, must be something like that to make sure he's fit for
Yeah,
Sunday.
so a little niggle for Shaw takes him off.
Is enough to
Rashford
take him
on
off.
one leg, still on the pitch. Anyway, I digress. So the goal, talk me through it.
Well, I think it came from an unexpected source. If it's a long ball from the defence, you're probably expecting Harry Maguire to do that long ball. But that was a fantastic long pass. You could see Rashford trying to keep himself onside. It was a fantastic run as well because he timed that run to perfection. But the run is only as good as the pass, and vice versa. So yeah, that first touch, fantastic,
Yeah,
absolutely magical first touch.
must have been watching Tony Cruz against Liverpool. Almost identical. Wonderful
Yeah,
through ball.
yeah. So that first touch that's basically made the goal for him because that just allowed the ball to be in a position which allowed him to do that finish. So yeah, it was a great finish. Did I think he was going to score from that position? I thought maybe he was going to mess it up, but
No,
he
well, we
actually did
didn't
well to
really
put it in.
see it on the
Yeah,
feed
it's
that I
literally
was
just
watching. We
the
didn't even
touching
watch
in,
it
wasn't it?
anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so that was the only moment of brilliance in the whole game. We had Bruno getting punched in the face towards the end. Full shiner on his eye. Just about got the penalty. So yeah, we secured it. There's not really much else to talk about in the game.
It was
Let's
a
be
very
fair.
uneventful game, other than
Yeah, it
those
was
few
so
things that
uneventful,
happened.
the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it was uneventful, anyone stand out? Because for me, maybe only one or two people, but other than we won't go to
Maguire
the
was
man of the
good,
match
I
just yet,
think.
but just in general,
Yeah.
what do you think of the play?
I think it was just a kind of classic European away performance where we didn't need to open up too much. At the back, we looked quite secure. A few hairy moments. I think it was Aaron Wan-Bissaka did a cross field pass, and he went to somehow ended up to Harry Maguire, but it went through like two other of the Granada plays before it got to him. I was worried. I was thinking maybe they're going to get the ball inside our box, and then maybe they're going to cause some issues. But Harry Maguire was good. I also think Scott McTominay had a decent game.
Didn't really see him doing much, to be fair, other
I
than
think he was
just
okay. I
picking
think
it
he was all
up and
right.
just passing
I
it
think he
two
was
yards.
okay.
I didn't really
He's
see
won the
anything from
ball.
him.
He actually won the ball quite a lot for us.
I don't know.
And
Mate,
other
to
than
be fair, I
that,
was falling asleep, so I didn't really pick up on that. As far as I can
Greenwood.
see,
I
he
mean,
wasn't really doing much.
Greenwood, although he didn't score, his kind of general all-round play seems a lot better. He's making some improvements to his game, but the key stat we're looking at for him is goals. He needs to be scoring more goals. He
I
needs to be involved in more.
personally think that he had a very off day. He was picking up good
I thought he was
positions.
good. I
He
thought he
was
was good.
running at players, but every time he ran at a player, he got dispossessed. So I think that
Yeah,
part of the game
that part of the game he needs to work on.
needs a
But
lot because he did that all night. Like I
I
can
think,
understand you doing it in
yeah,
the box, but he was doing it in positions that he didn't really need to do it. He should have really been looking for the pass. Either there wasn't the support, or either he needs to work on his link-up play. But I thought it
yeah. I
was
mean, I think it was.
more
I
his
think
fault, to be
as soon
honest.
as he gets to the point where he's going to have a shot or close to that moment, I don't think he's got the confidence he had last year. Anyway, the confidence he had last year, he could strike it with either foot. He was comfortable moving the ball around either side. And he was able to literally get a shot off whenever he wanted. This season, he's not been able to do that. Maybe defenders have worked him out. Maybe it's a combination of him not being in the form he was last year. But I can see improvements to his general all-round game, but where he needs to continue with the level he was at last season, he's not doing that. And that's ultimately what he will be judged by, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I can see where he's been worked out as a threat because of him being two-footed. So I can see he gets closed down a lot. But then again, he's trying to take people on a bit too much for my liking. I understand, you've got to take the risks. You can't say Bruno's doing okay because he takes a lot of risks, and then you criticize Mason Greenwood for doing the same thing. But I think it's slightly different when Mason Greenwood is trying to take on when he's been hounded by two or three players. If it's a one-on-one, yeah, go for it. But if you've got 2-3 people closing you down, I think trying to do a trick in that situation is pretty much pointless.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're anywhere near the box, still probably worth trying to do that because he does have that trick in his arsenal anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I think maybe he overdid it today a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll move towards man of the match. Like I said, it was a pretty uneventful game. So, man of the match for you?
I think defensively we were good. For me is between Lindelof and Maguire. I'm not sure which one to give it out of the two, but I'll just give it Harry Maguire just purely because of the fact he made that jinking run and he went forward and he kind of wrong-footed someone who's acting like he was like some number 10. Although he missed a shot, it's some decent skill.
Decent skill. Nah, I can't give it Lindelof. If it's between the two, which I agree, but I think Lindelof shades it for me because of that pass. Purely because of that
Good
pass. I
pass,
mean,
yeah, good pass.
there was a few other times where he got in front of the defender when they were through on goal, and I think one shot clipped his knee, went out. So that was a good block. And he
Both
was
played
getting his
well.
head. Yeah,
Yeah.
they played well, but I'm definitely going to give it to Lindelof
Mm.
as the man of the match for me. Looking forward, I think the tie has to be over as far as I'm concerned, regardless of the people that can't play the next game. I have to say that this tie has to be over. And if it's not, if we don't go through from here, you're seriously asking about Ollie. Then you have to. Like, I know his job's secure regardless, but you've got to ask questions if we lose from here. SYG says, surprised by such a strong lineup. Were you surprised by such a strong lineup?
Yeah, because I don't think either of us in the pre-match thought we were going to go full strength, but it's a lot stronger than we were expecting. But maybe Ollie's has that mindset where he just wants to kill the tie now, so he can rest plays in between the two league games.
In the pre-match I did think that it should have been a rotation, but then we did allude to it in the pre-match where we said, you know what, we haven't really got anything else to go for.
Yeah,
So why not put
not
your
that many
strongest
options.
team in the Europa? And then if you have to rotate for the league, you have to rotate for the league because this is the only chance we've got of silverware. So yeah, we want to finish second 100%, but if we end up finishing third, but we get further in the Europa because of it, I think it's a good trade to do.
Only if we get a win in in my book. If we win the Europa, finish third because we had to rest people in the league, then yeah, you could say it's worth it.
You've got to speculate
Otherwise,
to accumulate.
yeah.
You've got to go for it. You won't know until you try. You can't. If someone could say, "Here you go, you'll finish third and you'll reach the final," then yeah, you'd give it, but you don't
No,
know.
as in, yeah,
But you
if we
have
get to the
go for it.
final, I'm assuming the team we're going to face is going to be quite a strong team, maybe a Champions League level team. If it's Roma, for example, who won today at Ajax, so they may be through. So yeah, if it's Roma against Man United, just say in the final, then
In the semi-final, you mean?
oh yeah, sorry, it's a semi-final. Then yeah, there's no guarantees that we're going to win. So even if we have
But
our
you would though.
strongest
Then
team out,
if you reach the semi-final, you're going to play your strongest team, 100%,
yeah,
regardless of whatever team you're playing at the weekend. It might be Liverpool, might be Chelsea, might be Man City. If it was me, I'm prioritizing that game, 100%.
it's a big tie, yeah. And
You have
considering we've lost the last four semi-finals, we need to get that jinx and get that kind of monkey off our backs.
You're gonna go for it, though, aren't you? If you're in the
you
semi-final,
have to.
regardless
Yeah,
of what match
one
you've
step
got at the
away from the
weekend,
final,
you're going for
gonna
it.
have to.
So that answers that question. But yeah, as a preference for Roma or Ajax,
I think Roma are actually stronger than Ajax, so I'd prefer Ajax, to be honest. I know Ajax have some kind of players who are technical, but I don't think they're at the same level as Roma. I think Roma will cause us more issues and more problems, so I'd rather face Ajax, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, unfortunately.
especially Paolo Maldini and Mkhitaryan coming back potentially if we do get through and face Roma. But yeah, it's difficult either way. The technical game of Ajax, the pass and move, the rotation of players, I think we probably will struggle because of our midfield. I think Roma probably a bit more of a functional outfit. Even though defensively they're quite strong, as Italian teams generally are, I think we probably would have a better chance in my book. Because
against Roma, you think?
I think just because it is more like we've beaten Milan, who are better than Roma, who have done better than Roma this season, even though it was a close game. But I think Ajax style of play, even though they don't have the quality of the players they've had in the past, I think we may struggle with depending on tactically how they do it. Again, Ajax might even go for it because they think, you know what, we're technical, we'll go for it. That might even play in our hands. But I'm just not sure. Just not sure what's going to go on. But then again, Donny might get his little reunion with his team. Maybe he starts for United, maybe, to show, look, I'm doing better than you lot. But if we play them and we lose, then he's going to get memed out big time. He's going to get hurt. Yeah, Tottenham at the weekend. Are we going to get revenge?
I hope so. It can't be another result like that.
I don't think it will be.
But to be fair, I don't think Spurs are in that form for them to score that many goals. I think they'll be lucky to score one at this rate, the form they're in. We're not in the best of forms either. So I think it'll be a tough game. We're away from home, which might be a good thing for us. we seem to play better away from home
Yeah,
for whatever
Mourinho's going
reason.
to play defensive home or
And
away
Mourinho's,
anyway.
yeah, so he might set up like he's playing away, but at some point they're going to have to come out. They're at home, so let's see.
Yeah, I
But it's
think they're fighting
Mourinho,
for
so
fourth.
yeah, he
But they're
doesn't have to
fighting for
come
fourth.
out.
I think they have to because of they're very close. They're just outside the top four.
West Ham against Leicester, isn't it? So that could help him.
That
If
could help them. But
he might just think let's just get a draw and then try to win all the rest of the games.
Yeah, it depends on his mentality. But we'll obviously talk about that in much more detail over the weekend. I think we'll wrap it up from there. Man United 2, Granada 0. Quarterfinal of the UEFA Europa League. It should be job done as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully it is. If it's the first time you're watching us at the RedFlex, please consider subscribing. We're also active on Instagram and Twitter, so you can join us there and join in the conversation. Thank you very much. We're here each and every game, pre-match, post-match, and some stuff in between. So we'll see you again very soon. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.